I live in Marpole. I got engaged in this public stuff in 2003 when we had transit foisted on us with their bus barn at the river. So now we have a huge number of electric buses with a view of the river, which just didn't make sense to us. Still doesn't. But we have a little park there. You know, some days I think, yay, we did that little park, and then, oh my God, it's just a sliver. You know, it just depends on how I feel. But that got me engaged in the first place in 2003 when BC TransLink, thought that they needed to get rid of their Oak Street bus barn and plunk it down by the river. You know, what does it mean? Do people actually do they understand that their input is of value to anyone? And, you know, yes, they've been heard. What does that mean? What does that translate into activity? And that's the problem, I think, for most of the Vancouverites that I know of, is that they come to public meetings from time to time just to be turned off again, you know, because they can't see where their opinions have gone, or if they've been considered at all. It's not evident. Many people feel themselves excluded from this kind of planning, from this kind of discussion, this kind of talk, because you can't invite everybody. Right? But it seems as though the kitchen table discussions are missing. Places where people actually live. So when we talk about the viaduct, there's not very many people that are directly affected by it, other than people who need to head through town or the ones that live in that neighborhood. Now, does it mean that people don't care? Do they understand what it means when it comes down? We don't have those kinds of talks. It's just people reacting, yes, no, or looking at the bottom line and not understanding what kind of disruption that would bring. So there are other options, for example. We could have a Highliner Park, that kind of thing. If we have this increased density that everybody is promising, we need every one of those little green spaces we can create and keep. But it's like that for just about every one of these panels. It's like, in my neighborhood, people don't use these words.
In your neighborhood, they don't use what?
We don't use these words, like, the star power, for example, those star architects. That sort of stuff. It's like a foreign concept. They just know when their neighborhood is disrupted by yet another high-rise. That doesn't add much. I think they all have a potential of having positive impact. It just depends on the execution, right? and how many people are involved in the process, really. I think that each one of them has, like St. Paul's, right? Yeah, it's a bummer for people who live there who've gotten used to it being their health facility. But it has a potential of being something really good. But it also has a potential of feeling badly if the neighborhood that it's going to is not going to be, taken into consideration. Now, I'm sure that the planners are doing that, but it's not evident to people. I would like it to look not much different than it is now, not a heck of a lot different. I think that people have promised that there'll be 1 million more people here. I think that's ridiculous. I don't think that's a good idea. And I think natural selection will be that people just can't afford to move here anyway. So, maybe that's a worry we don't need to have. But I think that more and more people my age, boomers, are not going to be able to live here. So we're going to have a strange demographic situation, and that's not necessarily a good thing, but, I think what happens is that people are quite resilient. We may be bitching and griping about stuff, but, we sort of get on with things when we need to, and in 20 years from now, who knows? Maybe there will be a wonderful walk and bikeway along the north arm of the river, that connects New Westminster with UBC. That kind of stuff I would love to see. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
All right.
I appreciate all
Thanks
your comments.
for asking.